When the deepening shadows and cold of winter come, let us remember how we walked in autumn's bounty and colorful glory. Let us gather in warmth and light as we kindle in our hearts and lives to last us the winter through. Words of the Reverend David Johnson. Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. For those who are here in person, our typical Mancunian weather, I think causing some delays, but not preventing us from getting here. And I'm grateful as well for those who are following online. This is, I realize, probably the busiest weekend for the congregation in our church here, followed only by Pride Weekend and probably our AGM after that. But it's been absolutely phenomenal. I'm grateful for everyone who participated in Friday's Anthems for Advent, of which we raised £700 for the Christie charity. Absolutely spectacular. And I'm grateful as well for all the contributions today, which are going to the street mission. It's a very generous day for the congregation, and I think I wrote that this morning. More on that later. So we, of course, mark today not just with the lighting of our chalice, but it being the first Sunday in Advent. We as well light our Advent candle. Today is symbolizing hope. And in dark times and in the challenges that we face individually as communities and in the world over, there is all the more a call and necessity for hope at this time. So I hope that this candle brings at least some reminder and some hope to our lives. We as well turn to the words of Laura Wallace to bring ourselves a bit deeper into worship. As frozen earth holds the determined seed, this sacred space holds our weariness, our worry, our laughter and celebration. Let us bring seed and soul into the light of thought, the warmth of community, and the hope of love. Let us see together, hear together, love together. Let us worship. Amen. And let us sing as well. With our first hymn, the words are printed in the order of worship, O come, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let us turn now to a time of prayer with these words of Tracy Pullman. This is followed by our covenant, which is printed in your order of worship and should appear online. But first, these words. Holy and joyful is the Christmas season, wherein we call to mind Jesus of Nazareth, to rejoice in his birth and give thanks for his goodness. May this season the world over bring happiness to many, tranquility to all, and danger and terror to none. May international rancor and suspicion and inherited hatreds that mar our life be washed away in the rising tide of human understanding, cooperation, and mutual interest. We dare hope that in some not too distant day we will build in peace and love will reign through all the earth. To hasten the coming of that day, may we consecrate ourselves to peace on earth. Amen. Please read with me our covenant. We gather here in sacred fellowship to witness the fullness of our lives and all life, to hold and be held, tell stories and listen, to be renewed and renew the world. We speak with care and patience. We act with gentleness and compassion. We forgive each other and ourselves. In faith that we build beloved community, we renew our covenant today. Amen. Who here is familiar with Mog? I thought it would be picking a winner today for familiarity and love and sweetness. So this is Mog's Christmas by Judith Kerr. And if you're unfamiliar with Mog, you are in for a treat. Mog. Again, if you're unaware, Mog is a cat. There's Mog. Here we go. One day, Mog woke up, and nothing was right in her house. Everybody was busy. Debbie was busy. Nikki was busy. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas were busy. And there were too many people in the house. There was a jolly uncle and 2 aunts on tippy-toe. Mog thought, I don't like it here. She went and sat outside on the windowsill. There was nothing to do and no one to play with. So after a while, she went back to sleep. Well, that's the day the life of a cat. However, suddenly she woke up. She saw something. It was a tree. It was walking. You might spot there's Mr. Thomas behind the tree, but Mog presumably can't see him. So there was a walking tree. Mog thought, trees don't walk. Trees should stay in one place. Once trees start walking about, anything might happen. She ran up the side of the house in case the tree should come and get her. Come down, shouted the tree. Come down, Mog. First it walks, thought Mog, and now it's shouting at me. I do not like that tree at all. And she ran right up to the roof. Now the tree went on shouting for a while. Then it went into the house. Mog stayed on the roof. Some white things fell out of the sky. Some fell on the roof, and some fell on Mog. They were very cold. At supper time, Mog was still up on the roof. She must have her supper, said Debbie. Mog always has her supper. Mrs. Thomas gave Mog her supper, but still Mog would not come down. In the morning, Mog did not come down either. She had found a nice tall place, and she was asleep. She was having a lovely dream. You see her there looking very content. Mog dreamed that she was sitting on a cloud. Some white things were falling out of the sky. You can see she's dreaming that they're mice and are falling from the sky. Mog tried to catch them. She was very happy. But suddenly, the cloud began to melt. Well, inside the house, everyone was sad because Mog would not come down. They were too sad to eat their breakfast, and I can assure you that is very sad indeed. Even the jolly uncle was sad, and one of the ants cried. Suddenly, there was a noise. It was a noise in the chimney, and then something came down it. It came right down the chimney and fell into the fireplace with a thump. And you can see. Who might it be? Who is it that's come down the chimney? It's Father Christmas, cried one of the ants. No, dear, said the other ant. Father Christmas does not have a tail. Debbie cried, it's Mog. There we go. Mog had to have a bath. But then everything was lovely. The whole house was lovely. The tree had stopped walking about and had made itself all pretty. And Mog had 3 boiled eggs and some turkey and a present to unwrap. Happy Christmas, Mog, said Debbie. Mog's Christmas by Judith Kerr. And so we have a chance to share our joys and sorrows, our trials and challenges, our dreams and adventures. If you want to light a candle and say a few words, come to the microphone so those who are listening online, those using the loop system will be able to hear you. You're invited to light a candle in silence if you wish. And as always, if you want to remain seated, know that your presence here is enough. So I'd like to light a candle. Yesterday was Catherine's birthday, so it's a happy birthday candle for Catherine. Today is Emma's birthday as well, so she's included, and it is also my mother's birthday. So lots of birthdays, and for anyone else whose birthday it might be, happy birthday to them as well.
My candle is for my dear friend Paul Dayton, who goes under the knife tomorrow for a pancreatic cancer operation. Please keep him in your thoughts.
for all those joys and sorrows here spoken, and those that remain silently in our hearts. Let us sing now our next hymn in the Purple Book, number 106, Nothing Distress You, hymn number 106. Our next reading comes from Richard Gilbert, entitled Moods of Expectancy. The earth has turned once more in its accustomed way, and again our footsteps quicken, our voices are raised in familiar chorus. The sights and sounds of Christmas greet our eyes and ears, almost as if we had never seen or heard them before. There is a mood of expectancy. What we are to expect, we don't know. The least surprises are hidden beneath bright paper and graceful ribbon. The great surprises are the magic that happens whether we will it or not. There is a mood of expectancy. And the beauty is we do not know what to expect. Tomorrow is an open door, an untraveled journey, an untouched feast. Christmas is like that. It is a mood of expectancy. For out of the birth of the humblest babe may come one of the great prophets of the human spirit. And out of each of us, proud or humble, may yet come truth and beauty and goodness we cannot now imagine. Christmas is a mood of expectancy. Mood of Expectancy by Richard Gilbert. Let us return to a time of prayer with these words. Holy Wisdom, Sophia, who rings throughout the heavens, even in the midst of the din in our lives, May we hear your call to peace. Though the cannons and artillery of war-torn nations is deafening, may your voice carry over all conflict. From the front lines across the world to the intimate arguments between two neighbors, may your peaceful presence cover all injured, just as the snow blankets the hills. We know the seasons of the earth and the changes in our lives. Following the bounty of the autumnal harvest, may we have some time to rest. Although the markets pour into our eyes and ears with sights and sounds, and we are jostled one way and the next, may there be calm places to enter. May our chapel be one such place, a haven where, in the stillness of our gathering, we may truly know ourselves. Divine Wisdom, Sophia, may you remain with us through the trials and strife. May we know peace, calm, and care this season. May all feel heard and held. Amen. So let us enter into a period of silence for reflection, meditation, contemplation, and personal prayer. Let us sing now together our next hymn, number 82 in the purple book, no, in the green book, my apologies. 82 in the green book, People Look East, by Eleanor Fardion. This can be an exciting time for people, and stressful as well. Sometimes it's that positive, getting things accomplished form of stress. Friday and its preparation had that share of stress. But look at what it accomplished. A beautiful concert, £700 raised for the Christie charity. Other times, the stress can be perhaps unhelpful, feeling anxious about upcoming festivities. A child's bedtime can be an anxious time. Don't ask me how I know. Actually, don't ask me because it's obvious. Children and adults can sometimes resent having to go to bed. They fight it and fight it, running up and down the room, insisting on a glass of water, taking a sudden and keen interest in that toy that hasn't seen the light of day in months, acting cute, acting angry. Sometimes it is a hard slog to sleep. Sometimes it comes suddenly, as if all the energy and activity was suddenly switched off. In our household, we have to wait until Tom is asleep for a while before we move him properly to bed, laying blankets on him. This half-hour period has both a sense of calmness to it, as well as some measure of urgent expectation. Usually following that final burst of energy, there's some psychic emptiness. Suddenly, everything is very still. Everything is quiet. Suddenly, we can actually hear our own thoughts. But there's also a trepidation to that quietness. What sounds risk waking him up? Are we going to look over to discover open eyes staring out into the world as if to say, "Fooled ya"? When that final task of moving him comes around, will he rouse? And if so, is it back to square one? Or was it just a momentary reveille? Yes, in parenthood, there are times of simultaneous calmness and anxiety. Well, it is here that we meet the season. Advent means coming, referring to the coming of Jesus both at Christmas and in some faiths as a recognition and appeal to his second coming. The word is related to adventure, but in a way this is somewhat ironic, for it is this period of coming that seems to involve a great deal of waiting, and the season becomes that frustrating period between knowing something good is coming and actually seeing it happen. Ordering a package and finally learning that it has been delivered. For children, it may be the grueling anticipation from knowing Santa is coming to actually waking up Christmas morning. For adults, it may be those blessed days away from work. Not having much experience with office work, I can only imagine that it's like any caricature I have seen in the films. All silent save for that tick-tick-ticking of the clock. Finally, at the stroke of 5 o'clock, the adults become children again, running through the halls in joyous celebration. Yes, perhaps that's a bit over the top. But I wonder if there's some truth in it, at least internally. The closer one gets to something happening, the slower time seems to progress, the more impatient one finds themselves. My focus goes like that. It is in these times of expectation that many set down their tools and wait with too much anticipation to get any present work done. Is it hope that is driving us to become giddy and excited? Resist. Seek to know the patience of this time, but an honest, industrious patience. Becoming preoccupied with the future is all well and good, were the future independent of the present. However, wherever we wish to go, it is necessary that we proceed from where we are. If we have some dream, we should know deeply how we are to set about achieving it. And let us find the pleasure and enjoyment in each moment, each task placed before us. We could be mistaken for looking out at the world in the winter and forgetting what happens below the surface, underneath the ice and snow. The green shoots are not present, but the ground is indeed alive and prolific. The leaves slowly sink, consumed by the earth, and give it new life. Even Pluto, at the farthest reaches of the galaxy, has been found not to be a static tundra, but undulating with a smooth, young surface. Mogg reminds us that the present rarely makes sense, but with time we may come to understand it. It was a good thing that tree settled down and left Mogg alone. Life can only be understood backwards, but it has to be lived forwards, we're reminded by Kierkegaard, in a briefer but perhaps less fun way. Perhaps the most poetic of all would be Richard Gilbert's, "There is a mood of expectancy. What we are to expect, we do not know." There is a lot of fear today. Well-reasoned fear, I would say, too. Already the cultural and political shift across this world the past decade has presented concerns beyond the theoretical. In these precarious times, it can be difficult to look to the future with a sense of progress or positivity. At these times, I often turn to the words of the political analyst Josh Marshall. Optimism isn't principally an analysis of present reality. It's an ethic. It is not based on denial or rosy thinking. It is a moral posture toward the world that we find ourselves in. When he calls himself an optimist, it isn't because he sees the glass as half full or ignores the facts on the ground. It is a conviction that with our effort we can turn the arc of the moral universe, that it is more productive to see where we are, see where we want to be, and begin walking, even if it is through the sludge. As much as we worry about the future, let us create some intentional hope, reasoned hope, not some passive smiling as the world falls apart. There are still stories of love and care out there, and the chapel proved that this past Friday. Chapel has proved that just this morning. There is no law that says we cannot create our own hope. Hope takes careful and diligent preparation. Often those transformative moments in our lives equally need tending and care. Effective change will only take root if we have prepared the soil. Let us remember that one simple thing, that rebirth of hope is unlikely to come to fruition without some period of reflection or planning on our part. So we must embrace our winters and advents. This is the time of decomposition, construction, gestation. We can change at any point in our life, but this first change must be under the cloak of winter and self-assessment. So let us strive for that industrious patience. Amen. A few notices before we sing our final hymn. If you had hoped to contribute to the Wood Street Mission, but have not brought something today, and we'll accept cash donations as well, we'll be taking the items over on Wednesday. So if you are sort of nearish to the city and have a chance to drop something off before then, that would be welcome. Let me know if you need to have a chat or if you're in need of any pastoral care. You can write to me at minister@crossstreetchapel.org.uk. You can write to join our mailing list, or if you are interested in volunteering in some capacity, such as reading, helping out with the IT. How's the IT been today? Excellent. Thank you. Greeting and helping out with the tea and coffee. I was going to say I'm expecting everyone to help with the tea and coffee today because we have our shared meal. I'm grateful for every contribution that's come forward, as well as the hard work. I was going to say hard work. It's going to be fun work that we'll be doing in just a few minutes. We're also grateful for any donations that can assist the mission of our chapel. You can donate online at justgiving.com/crossstreetchapelmanchester, or you can email me about setting up a standing order. So we have our shared meal and our Christmas decorating after today's service. Our carol and reading service will be a fortnight from today on the 15th, and then on the 22nd is our Blue Christmas service. This is a service which is, they're always sort of open, and we seek to sort of make them welcoming for everyone, but it's particularly focused for people who have sort of a difficult time at Christmas, either this year or sort of perennially. If the season's not for everyone, and if you need sort of a quiet place to sort of rest in the shadows or the sort of darkness of the season, the 22nd will be available. And that is followed by our Faith in Life group, which will be sort of a further opportunity to explore the challenges of the season and not just the blessings. Are there any announcements or notices from the congregation? Yes, Joe.
If you're traveling in next Sunday,
Oh, yes.
away next Sunday morning, there will be the Manchester Christmas Parade.
Thank you. Yes, Joe. Christmas parade is next week. I forget what it's sort of like. It starts about the time that we finish the tea and coffee. No, I don't want to say unfortunately. You have a chance to go see the parade. That's fantastic. But it does disrupt the travel a little bit. So you might be stuck here a little bit longer, which isn't always a bad thing. Although you might differ in that opinion. As well, actually, one other announcement is the 6th is Friday on the 6th. I'm not sure what time. Our own one, thank you, Michael Kiriakou is going to be presenting a sort of I forget how he describes it, a sort of opera or a sort of musical. He's sang one of the songs at Anthems for Advent on Friday, Go Timmy Go. There's details out in the concourse and in the Percival Suite. Any other announcements? Let us then sing our final hymn, number 80, The Child is Promised by Don Wayne Vaughn. The tune will be different to what's written, but don't worry, it's the one right, and it's number 79, so thank you. Hymn number 80, The Child is Promised. Fantastic music. Thank you, Amy, for the IT. Thank you, Joe and Sonia, for helping to set up and for greeting. And thank you, everyone, for the contributions you brought today, for the meal, and for helping with that preparation. Thank you to everyone for creating and sharing worship today. We close with these anonymous words. Holy is the true light and passing wonderful, which is the radiance within of reverent love. May it shine forth in our darkness ever stronger and brighter, and lead us and all people into the way of peace.